after listening to many of our podcasts, you can tell that we love complaining, especially Z. Hey Z, tell me some of the things that you were complaining about when you're working a 9 to 5.
Where do I start with that?
Anywhere. I mean, starting from like how you hated working 9 to 5, how you hated coming into our office, how you hate every single coworker, how you hate our supervisor, how you hate our manager, how you wanted to leave the office at like 10 o'clock a.m. while arriving at 9:30 a.m. Things like that.
Well, let's pick one. Can you be more specific?
How about you didn't want to commute to the office? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I just didn't want to commute in the office. Dude, I don't know.
Should be like, I didn't want to commute to the office even though I was given parking, but you know what? One of the worst things that could happen is that our office required valet parking, and I didn't like it when other men touched my car. Every single day I come to the office, and you know what? There's valet parking, and I want to park my own car, and I hate it when other men touch my car.
Yeah, so I just didn't want to commute to the office at all because number one, I was wasting my time, my precious time that I'll never get back.
Why do you think your time is so important?
Because it's not like money where you can get it back. You can never take it back. All the years that I've quote unquote wasted, I can never get that back.
So when you're working a 9 to 5, it's considered wasted time.
It is, in my opinion, yeah. Especially when I'm being paid pennies and nickels.
Oh, and then I'm getting paid nickels and dimes, right?
Mm-hmm. And then when we got to the office, like the building is, you cannot self-park. So there are valets there that'll like touch your car, eat in your car. Like for you, for example, you smelled fish inside your car.
They smell like chicken too. I felt like they had a meal in my car.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know if they're the ones doing that, but you don't eat in your car, do you?
I don't eat in my car. Yeah, no one should touch my car except for me.
Exactly. So during dire times like the pandemic, them handling my car like that and have to like spray Lysol everywhere, it's just not an ideal situation for me.
So even if the company provides valet parking, they don't want to park there, or we don't want to park there because, there's people touching our cars and all they do is eat in our car, and they probably use up some of our gas too.
Mm-hmm. To run their errands and whatnot. But the sucky part thing is that I didn't have free parking. You did.
Oh yeah.
So I had to pay. And along with gas and wear and tear on the car that I would need to fix down the line. On top of that, I need to pay for valet parking. I don't think so.
They actually wanted you to run to the office.
Who wanted me to run?
Our manager. I mean, technically our supervisor too. They wanted you to run to the office, bike to the office, or walk to the office. Because, I'm pretty sure they were like, hey, Z, seems like you're a little not fit. You're out of shape. You might as well just like run to the office, like an exercise actually.
And they want to get me in early in the office too.
I know.
And they want to make me feel bad because this previous manager was like, I drive 3 hours every day just to get to the office and I get here at 6 in the morning. He's just trying to like guilt trip me at that point, And I didn't appreciate that because me, I have a life, unlike him. So yeah, I just didn't want to commute.
Yep. No one likes commuting.
Especially when you're not getting paid that well.
Did you know what they said?
What did they say?
Like they were telling me, it's like, Z gets paid really well. Like for what he does, I mean, he just makes copies and scans things. So he gets paid really well. It doesn't seem like he wants to work.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one word to describe this person. Z, He's he's sneaky. So I was like, so you think he's a crook? No. He's just sneaky.
Sneaky.
So is he a spy? No, he's sneaky. So what does that mean? So that is what our manager was talking about. Sneaky Z. He doesn't like working. He doesn't like commuting. He doesn't like walk. He doesn't like doing anything but sitting in his corner with the blinds closed, lights off. I mean, I think there was another thing you were complaining about. Let's talk about coming into the office. So for people that don't know, our 9 to 5 is actually an 8 to 5. You're supposed to, well, technically supposed to be in the office at 8. I arrive at the office after Z got laid off at 9:50. Z, did you have to come into the office at 8:30 or 9:30? 8:30, right?
It was 8:30.
So they wanted Z to come in at 8:30. But he had other commitments. Let's just say that. He had other commitments, other priorities, and he had to take care of other businesses. And you know Z, he hates the 9 to 5. And he was like, I don't care. So he just came in at 9, 9:10, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, to me, it made no difference because whenever he came, it didn't really matter because I came in late too. But he was the only one that always got complaints. The manager always complained about him. And he was like, hey Z, come in the office. And then he wouldn't even ask Z directly. Probably was afraid of Z. I mean, you know, manager, 5'3", 5'2".
I thought it was
Z,
like 4'8".
Well, I don't know, 4'7". It doesn't matter. But Z, on the other hand, is a little taller than 5'3", or 4'8", or whatever. So he got a little intimidated by Z. So he never talks though. So he talks to our supervisor. So the American Caucasian man has to always tell Z, hey Z, can you come into the office a little earlier? And then he's like, yeah, I can. And then they probably got like, and told the manager, oh yeah, I can't really come in that early. I can come in at 9 o'clock. He's like, is 9 o'clock fine? I said, yeah, that's fine. But Z then ends up coming in at 9:05 and then people got angry again. I was like, come on, man.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I'm very appreciative of the work, but just to...
The lack of what we had to do.
Yeah, I mean...
What we didn't
just
have,
a little
we didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, but I mean, just like a little context though. Like, he said that, you know, oh, I don't care how you guys operate, just as long as you get your work done. I'm not gonna micromanage.
So he does micromanage, actually. He micromanages this dude, Z. So Z is considered to be the bottom of the barrel.
To the T.
So Z is considered to be the bottom of the barrel, the newest, freshest coworker, person, employee, you name it. So that's why he always has to manage Z. But when it comes to me and that American man, he doesn't manage us. You know why? It's because we have experience. So that's why.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, I get my work done, but he still manages to micromanage me, which I don't get. I mean, right before we were hired, he was like, you can work whenever, you know, I'm not a micromanager. I'm not gonna get in the way. What works for you guys works for you guys. And then later down the line, he flips the script.
He flips it on the first day.
On the first
second day.
No, not on the first day. Yeah, on the second day. But
yeah, he was like, yeah, no, Z, you don't get a phone, so you're gonna have to use your own cell phone to make calls.
I'm like, dude. But yeah, that goes to show you what kind of man or what kind of character he is. Because if you're gonna switch on me like that, I'm not gonna care about you, right? And I'm not gonna care about the job, because my number one thing that was I expected something out of it. My expectations were A and B, but I was given F or G. I don't know, it was kind of like a mixed thing, you know. It is what it is. It's, you know, it's done.
You know why? If you complain, the more you complain, the easier it is, or the faster it is for you to become a millionaire. And the reason is because during our first job, when we complained, all 3 of us got laid off, right? But on your second job, you're the only one who complained and you got laid off. See, you know what it means? You think getting laid off is a bad thing. You think that getting laid off is a bad thing. Getting laid off is not a bad thing. See, you're the only one without a 9-to-5, so you're one step closer to becoming a multi-billionaire. While me and this American dude is always just staying to our 9-to-5, making pennies and dimes and nickels while he makes dollar bills, while you're here collecting Benjamin Franklins. See, this is why getting laid off is probably a good thing. This is why everyone should start complaining to the bosses about it being really hot in the office.
I mean, just like Tony Robbins said, burn your boats and bridges. Don't have anything to fall back on.
Yeah, I know. You might as well write an email. We should really talk about that email in our podcast.
Do you have that email saved?
No, I don't, but I remember you with some of the funniest things I've heard.
I don't know what's the word, like blunt? Curt? Like...
No, you wrote 2 emails. Both of them got you laid off.
Straight to the point? I mean, like this is why I would rather hire veterans as employees, because they're always straight to the point. They look at a problem, they tell you the solution, and that's it. There's nothing, no beating around the bush, nothing like that. That's why, I highly look up to veterans, not just because they serve or have served, but that kind of like thinking of straight to the point. I mean, to the flip side of it, the one thing I hate is like beating around the bush. A person who doesn't have integrity, just like my previous manager. He just flipped the switch so many times.
Dude, one of our videos, the next one's going to be how I fired my boss instead of him laying me off. Dude, it works because it's going to, and then we're going to be like, dude, you know how I fired my boss? I wrote him a nasty email. No, I wrote him a very succinct, professional complaint that got me, and that pretty much said, I'm firing you and you're not laying me off, actually. But you still have to pay me.
But you're in a position to do that. I don't.
You did do that, though.